Let's talk about reprints because we brought this up when we were talking about doing a Steffenfeld top 10, which should be on the channel now. But how do we feel about the City series or City collection specifically? And also, we can touch on other reprints, but how do we feel about those Feld reprints?
Well, I think I'm the only one of us who has some. Outside of, I guess, Marrakesh is part of the City series, but it's not a reprint. I have the Macau reprint, which is called Hamburg, and I'm sorry, it's called Amsterdam, and the Bruges reprint, which is called Hamburg. And I actually think they're an improvement on the original. We talked about this in another video recently, but Bruges had some little rules issues that I think are cleared up and fixed in the reprint. Also, you get all the expansions in the base box. If you want to find that River Zwin reprint expansion to the original Bruges, that's like really hard to find these days. And just so is Bruges. It brings back these games that we didn't have, that a lot of people can't find anymore because they're so woefully out of print, and brings out a nice, beautiful copy. So,
and I think that's why I'm kind of like not against, but just not as, it's not desirable as much for me, is that I really went all out trying to find Macau and to find Rum and Pirates, which is another one that's not the Nassau.
Nassau.
Yeah,
How we say it.
yeah. It took a long time for me to find those because it took 2 years of searching to find Macau. Once somebody gets them, it's hard for them to want to give them up, and then they're not in print anymore. And so because of that, it's like, well, I already have the one I fought so hard to get. Why would I just get another re-implementation of the same game that I really love that's in my collection?
Because it's better.
But regardless if it's better or not,
It's nicer.
but
All the boxes match.
but it's, I worked so hard to get this one. Why would I not play the one I worked so hard to get? Yeah.
Sure.
And,
Do you?
Huh?
Do you play it?
I have played Rum and Pirates once since getting it, and Macau, same thing. I've played them once, but and that's another thing. They don't get played that much, so why would I get yet another copy of something I don't play all the time when the one that I wanted I already have? The ones that I would probably get is Vienna, because La Isla is one that's like, oh, it's fine, it's a good game, but I probably would get Vienna, and I probably would get New York City, which is Rialto's. Right, because
Wow.
it's something that's like they're not as like for me like sought after. And there's the other one that's Cusco, that's Bora Bora, that I probably would get. I probably would get too. So those are the three. Like there's three that I'm like on the fence, probably want. Like I love my copy of Bruges. Like I have the boats and the expansion. Yeah, I love my copy. So probably wouldn't get those three, but I'd probably get New York City, Cusco, and Vienna.
Well, what do you and the cat think, Jesse, about the City series?
Well, you all said a lot of positive things, and I agree with a lot of them. The things that I don't like about them, I don't like how they changed the titles. Like, I don't know, it's too hard to track. I wish they would have put on the cover a reimagining of Bruges on the Hamburg cover or something like that. I have to figure it out. And I may have a bit more knowledge about games than others. And another thing I don't like about it is the price point. They kind of went wild on the price point when it comes to some of these Kickstarters. Well over $100 for La Isla. I don't want to pay that.
Oh, yes.
Or $90. I mean, close to it. It can be. But yeah, so those two things, I like how it brings the games back. I have no problem with that. I wish it was, for the price, a nicer copy. Like art wise, it looks great. I think the components don't really warrant $100 copy though.
Probably not.
Yeah,
But, everything's getting more expensive. And
agreed. But Queen Games has a reputation of doing that.
you talking about reprints. One of the big reprints that I know about is the Gloomhaven reprint. They're coming out with a second edition. It's not really a reprint per se, but it is a full reimagining of the game, which is very much what the City series is. They took some stuff back to the drawing board. They fixed some things, and that's what they're doing with the Gloomhaven second edition. What do you think? I mean, you guys played Gloomhaven with me over 50 times. What do you think about a second edition?
It depends on if there's going to be any difference in like storyline. If it's just gonna be the same story.
No,
See, because
there's none?
that
it's totally been fixed and updated and changed.
See, that would be
All the classes
interesting.
are changed. Their cards are changed. The monsters are changed. They basically left nothing untouched. It's almost a different game.
yeah, that would be worth it, because if you played through as much as we played through, which I think our number's 44, as we've lovingly said in the past, when you play that many of you want something that's like, oh, a new story, a new character, let me be a new class, anything that like gives that nostalgia of all these things that I did, but now just a little enhancement. So that could be, for a person who really got into Gloomhaven, could be fun for them.
I wonder, you could still buy Gloomhaven, right? The first edition?
You can.
Yeah, because there's some games that have been reprinted over the years, just like Gloomhaven's about to be. I mean, Castles of Burgundy just had a fancy version put out.
Right after the new version had just came out.
Exactly. And you can still buy that for $20. Or you can buy that fancy version for $150, like we did. And it's
Because,
really nice, but
Because I'm telling you that,
super nice to play.
yeah, those people, ooh, that's
You
got
haven't
some
even shown it
nice
to me.
pieces.
Oh,
I've been
do
in
we?
your house for a week. You haven't even said, Ronald, look.
I know, we haven't
It
been
is-
busy at all.
But you know,
Yeah.
we've talked about this in some other videos. Rococo.
Ah.
Never would have gotten a chance to own a copy of Rococo if it hadn't come back around and reprinted.
That one is very much worthy of a reprint.
And of course, it was a giant price point. But we talked about, in order to buy Rococo, the old one, would have cost you even more. And you're not getting all this deluxified stuff. So isn't it
True.
better to have a reprint and deluxify it, even if it is the higher price point? Because at least now some people have access to it when they didn't before.
Yeah, and like the same thing happened with us with Raw. Like,
Yep.
I love Raw is big, absolute favorite of mine. And we got the deluxe like reprint version, and because we got a chance to play Raw at a convention, and it was just the standard basic edition, but that wasn't available anymore at that time. And then it got the reprint, it got the deluxe edition, came out. I was like, I want this game. I was just like, sold, done. I want it, get it. Like, I don't even think you told me a price point. I was just like, I don't care. I want it. And now we have a expansion coming
Yeah,
to
well,
us for it.
as we're talking about this,
Yeah.
Raw is on Kickstarter right now. Unpaid sponsorship, but I really like what 25th Century does with games right now. And are there any games that, off the top of your head, any games that deserve a reprint? You can post those in the comments below while they're thinking about it. I mean, Queen's Games, if you're so eager to reprint games, reprint Glucks. I have to make my own copy about it.
No one's clamoring.
No
for
one's
Glocks.
clamming for...
No, but it's a good game.
Well,
will
I
say it's a good
think the
game.
thing that everyone in the gaming hobby is supposed to say in this moment is "Glory to Rome"
Glory
by
to Rock.
Carl Chuddick.
Yeah, you're right.
I haven't played it.
But you know what Tom Vassell says? Neither have I.
Oh.
'Cause no one has a copy.
True.
Oh.
They say that Montanai was supposed to be that.
Yeah, nothing is coming out. But I will say, I do like how you were saying you do own two of the implementations of the Felds. We do own one of them, and that is Jorvik.
Yeah.
The
yes.
only one we
That was
own.
the speaker stat.
But
I
that
think
wasn't a Queen's game.
Yeah, that was
That was
before
Stronghold Games.
Yeah, that was before the City series, and maybe because of that, because it came way beforehand, and I really liked Jorvik, and I played it more than Speaker Shot.
Yeah, it's basically the same game though, just
Yeah,
with a
but-
different theme.
Yeah, but I really liked it. That thing, I think I just like, in the cover art is really pretty for it. It's nice, but that's the only one I have.
We've come full circle back around to Feld.
Yep.
And you were talking about the names. It's like, oh, it used to be called Bruges, a city I'd never been to and don't know anything about. And now it's called Hamburg, a city I've never been to and don't know anything about. These themes mean so much to me.
Yeah.
No.
Gail, do you have anything to add?